Hi, it's your $2 Tuesday movie critic here. Today's movie review is going to be on the movie No Good Deed. Now this stars Taraji P. Henson and Idris Elba, and it was like one of those movies that you call when a drama meets an action movie, but it's more drama than there's action, so it's considered a thriller or a suspense film. And which this was. It was quite suspenseful, very much a thriller. It was a really good movie. There were some problems that I had with it, though, where it could have been a much better movie, in my opinion. The suspense starts, you get to see how things unfold, and the further you get into the movie, the more suspenseful it gets. And I really enjoyed that part because I was just like, what is going to happen next? And I also enjoyed the part where the movie was not predictable in most cases. Now, there were some scenes that were kind of predictable, but for the most part, when you thought, or at least when I thought one thing was going to happen, the other thing ended up happening. And I know, like in the previews, it kept saying how there's twist upon twist upon twist. There was one twist. A lot of suspense, but there was only one twist. And in my opinion, this is where I think they could have done better with the movie. I think they should have done without the twist. Because the twist itself, if they had just played the movie straight as a suspense thriller without the twist, I actually think it would have been better. Because the twist it doesn't really add anything to the movie. It kind of like, with the twist, it makes the story kind of be able to end in a nice little bow. That twist did not work at all in this movie. And the other thing I had a problem with was the character of Henry Simmons, who played the husband of Terry, played by Taraji P. Henson. Henry Simmons was boring. I'll just say it. He was boring. And, you know, I know what they were trying to go for with his character, the way they had him, and the way he's supposed to play in the movie, but I think he went for it a bit too much, and he ended up being a really forgettable character. For the most part, I really enjoyed this movie. I did not like seeing Idris Elba as a bad guy, and not just any bad guy. He was a sadistic, creepy bad guy, and I did not like it. It was like seeing Denzel in Training Day. It was just not what I wanted to see at all. So, for that point, I did not like it, but I did like the part where it shows his range. I mean, it talks about in the movie why his character is the way he is, and he plays that to the hilt, and he goes from one degree to the other, but it's a transition, and you see it, and you feel it. I enjoyed the chemistry between he and Taraji P. Henson, and also Leslie Bibb, who's also in the movie. She plays Taraji P. Henson's best friend. And the chemistry between the three of them was really, really good. I really didn't expect a couple of things. That's where I expected one thing to happen and something else completely different happened. So that was good though. It was good because that means the movie wasn't predictable to me. I do not like predictable movies. They just end up pretty much being, cliche type movies and boring. And I have to say there was more chemistry between these three characters than there was between the characters of Terry and her husband. Honestly, I didn't see any chemistry there. I didn't feel any chemistry. It was boring. Have I said that already? Because it was. But other than that, I really enjoyed the movie. I would definitely recommend it to anyone. Okay, so there was violence in the movie, quite a bit. It does get a bit gory at times, but so I would not, maybe NC-17, as far as teenagers watching it, there were curse words. But again, it wasn't salacious, and the violence itself, I don't believe was salacious either. The violence was there, and you knew why it was there. If you like suspense movies, you will like this movie because it is full of suspense. But when they, like I said, when they talk about the twist, there's a twist. But I I don't think they needed it. I think they could have done a better movie without the twist. I can't wait till it comes out on video, or now DVD, because I plan on getting it and watching it again. The two old school movies that I have for this are also suspense thrillers. The first one is Trois. Yes, this is VHS, because it came out, I got it. Trois came out in 2000, and it starred Gary Jordan, Gretchen Palmer, and Kenya Moore. Now, this movie was actually very good. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, it was a suspense thriller. The one thing that I did not like about this movie was that the dialogue was not well written. But for the most part, this is what I'm talking. When you're gonna do a twist, you go for it like this, because there was a huge twist in this movie. For the most part, it was like the character of Gary Jordan, who Jermaine, who was married to, of course, Jasmine, and he's a real jerk in this movie, actually. I don't know why she loves him so much, because he's a huge jerk from beginning. I mean, I guess they show in the beginning when they first get married and they're very, very happy or whatever, and then after a year of marriage, you know, he gets a promotion and things like that, so la la la. But when they actually go into the details of the characters and you know, he starts talking about the things he wants in the marriage, and you know, he's a jerk. And so the way I compare the two movies is, again, the married couples and how they relate to each other. Now, in No Good Deed, as I said before, the two characters, there was really no chemistry. Now, on the other hand, the character of Jermaine and Jasmine, there was a lot of chemistry. You could see it there. I think Kenya Moore did not a fabulous job, but a middle of the way job, you know, acting. In some parts, I think she overacted, especially when she was, you know, angry. Yeah, I think she went a little bit overboard. But for the most part, she did a really good job with her acting. And Gary Jordan and Gretchen Palmer were excellent in their scenes and everything like that. They were the ones that pretty much carried the movie, because if you've seen Trois, you know that the movie is about the character of Jermaine and the character of Jade having this feud pretty much over Jasmine, because initially it's about Jermaine wanting Jasmine to open her sexual horizons and want to do this menage a trois, and she's, of course, doesn't want to do it. She doesn't feel comfortable about it, and she only agrees to it because he keeps pressuring her, and she finally just gives in. Jade comes along, and she does, you know, a great job of making them both feel good. They have their little menage a trois, and after that, everything just goes downhill. And that's when the suspense and the thrills start coming, though. And it's one thing after another. It's almost like watching a chess game between Jade and Jermaine. And they are, like, at each other. Kind of like where you have the character, Jermaine's character, kind of like is the one that brings the chaos into the family, even though the character of Terry in No Good Deed, she doesn't bring the, well, in a way she kind of does, but unintentionally. Her intent is to help someone out. She doesn't know that she's bringing harm to her family by letting this man into her home, you know, to help her, or helping this man out. And then, again, that's Jermaine's character. He doesn't think that bad things are going to happen after this menage a trois, which I don't know why he would think any good would come from it, but he thinks that it's going to help to take their marriage to the other level, as he keeps telling Jasmine. So he brings the stranger into their lives, hoping that it can only make things better. And, well, in the case of Terry in No Good Deeds, she doesn't necessarily bring him in. He introduces himself to her, but, you know, she lets him in to their family. And that's when things start getting hectic for her. Just like when Jermaine lets Jade in, you know. He doesn't really know her. Even though he just agrees to do a menage a trois with her, he's only recommended by the friend. So he knows his friend, so he believes his friend isn't gonna make him, you know, let him get into something crazy with some crazy woman. Little does he know, because you know. And the thing with Trois, what I love is when the twist does come. And like I said, it's a major twist, unlike with No Good Deeds, where the twist did not help the movie out at all, in my opinion. But in in Trois, the twist was perfect. I didn't expect it at all. I thought that the whole time it was a suspense thriller with these three characters. And basically, it was between the two, mainly Jermaine and Jade, like I said, fighting for Jasmine. But with the twist, there was some more to it. And it's a great twist. If you've never seen this movie, I recommend it. It's just really, really great thriller with a twist. Now, when you do a twist, you should do it like this one. And that's my recommendation for that movie. The next old school movie that I have is Femme Fatale. Now this one stars Antonio Banderas and Rebecca Romijn Stamos. Of course, this was when she was still Stamos. She's only Rebecca Romijn now. Or I should say she's Rebecca Romijn, not only. But okay, so this movie is what you would call twist upon twist upon twist, and it's just great. I really, really loved it. Oh, this is one of my favorite suspense thriller movies because the hits just keep on coming. You think something's going to happen one way, and it happens a totally different way. But it's because there's a twist to it. And then the final twist is the ultimate twist, and you're like, oh my God. I did not see that coming at all. And then they kind of end the movie in a nice little bow. But it's because of that twist that makes it better. Now, and they needed that very major twist at the end in order to close up shop on the movie, you know, get a good ending, or get an ending that makes sense. And when you see the ending, it's like, you know, oh my gosh, this totally makes sense. And then, you know, they even show a final frame at the very end that makes it even more perfect, in my opinion. Femme Fatale was so great. The chemistry between Antonio Banderas and Rebecca Romijn and this movie were just like, woo, electric. You know, but Antonio Banderas is sexy anyway. I honestly think that Rebecca Romijn's character kind of went more towards more trashy than sexy. I mean, at first she was sexy, yeah. And, you know, then it just got really, okay, you're taking it a bit too far. Especially like that barroom scene, you know, where she's downstairs with this guy. She took downstairs, and then Antonio Banderas follows them. He's like a voyeur, and then he becomes her protector. I'm like, what was that all about? That was a scene I think they could have just cut because it made no sense in the movie, and it was just ridiculous. I guess just to show that how very sadistic she is. I don't know, or weird, because it was more weird than sadistic. So, but taking that aside, this is an excellent movie if you want to see a movie with twists that just the right amount. I mean, where the twists don't make you more confused, but there's so many, and it's so cool that you want to watch the movie another time, because each time you watch, you probably see something different. And I think the writer of No Good Deeds should probably take a note from either Trois or Femme Fatale when they're thinking of doing twists, because that's how you do a twist. So the other movies that I wanted to mention, just to give you an example of what I mean by a twist gone wrong, are, you know, in a suspense thriller, The Business of Strangers. This starred Stockard Channing and Julia Stiles. styles rather. And this movie was great. It did not need the twist. Actually, I think it would have been better without the twist, because the twist kind of made it irritating, in my opinion. So, again, and then this movie, Muholland Drive, is the perfect example of a movie with too many twists, and it becomes confusing. I have watched this movie, I don't know how many times, just so I can understand what in the heck it meant, and I still have not figured it out. And I don't know anybody that has figured it out yet. So if you have figured out Muholland Drive and what exactly is going on, because it did a bunch of twists, and none of them made sense. You know, I think maybe the first couple of ones did, and then after a while it was just like, what the heck? So I always get lost around like the close to the ending part of the movie when they try and do all this stuff, and it just ends up becoming very, very confusing, so, in that my opinion. So if you know what that one's about, please let me know. So this is my review for this time. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any movies that you think better compared to No Good Deeds, let me know at the bottom of the screen. And also let me know what you think of the movies that I chose for the old school. Alright, I'll see you next time.